What's it mean for you to get this? You're the first team to do two Winter Classics.
Listen, I couldn't be happier to have it, especially that we're playing the Habs in Gillette Stadium. I think that's going to be a great atmosphere. The fact that we're getting it twice, I think, speaks a lot about the market that we play in and the passionate fan base, not only for Boston, but the Montreal fans that may come down, and I expect will be in Gillette Stadium as well. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
What was the process like just in terms of getting from start to finish?
A lot of lobbying on our behalf to say, we want to host this game. We feel that demand is there in the market for us, and maybe some arm twisting with some of the other leadership at the NHL level.
Logistically, the Patriots are playing their last two games on the road. Is that right?
That's my understanding. Yeah.
So, when's their last regular season game? Is it the Sunday before or the Sunday afterwards?
I couldn't speak to the NHL schedule. My understanding is that it hasn't been released yet.
Yeah.
So I imagine they'll leave open a window of time for them to sort of recover the field from the rink and have everything back to normal, so to speak, if they were to host a playoff game.
Yeah.
Was that really the only place you considered, or were there considerations for, say, going back to Fenway again, or other?
No, absolutely. I can't say. I'll get misquoted if I say I had a preference to one or the other. I know that the NHL wanted the larger venue because of the seats and the parking.
Was there the arm twisting, did that involve just going back to the same city twice for the first time? Did that take some sort of convincing to do that, just given how many other cities there are out there that want it?
Yeah, we lobbied quite a bit for it, I'd say it helps that we have somebody as the chairman of the board of governors to help lobby as well, and so we were able to get it. But listen, you're not going to get it if you don't raise your hand and ask for it. Say, here's why we need it.
Why was the Winter Classic so much more preferable than, say, one of the Stadium Series games?
I don't know what the NHL plans to announce. I do know they plan to announce a few games outside. The Winter Classic for me was the original event. It's the real artifact, so to speak, and to have that on New Year's Day, it's a great way to kick off the new year. Last time we were in one, I think we had a great run. So I'd much prefer to have that than a Stadium Series game. Not saying that I don't mind a Stadium Series game, but I much prefer to have a Winter Classic.
Pretty happy, obviously, to see the success that Detroit and Toronto had a couple of years ago, where they were willing to go back to another Canadian team, because really, that's what everybody wants to see, is the Canadiens Bruins and that kind of a game.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's such a rivalry, and it's what else it sets up for maybe a special alumni game, some different surrounding events. We're not going to get at the rink for 2 weeks like we had at Fenway, which is going to be a short window. So really have some marquee events. Of course, the game itself, but some ancillary programming, I guess, is the right term, that will go on in Gillette.
And you might get the equipment on and skate a few laps out there.
Redo. We'll see.
What's the feeling? The lower ratings for this last Winter Classic. Is there any nervousness as far as college football reclaiming New Year's Day and then Winter Classic losing a little luster?
I wouldn't say that. I think this year with the championship setup that they had, I think there was some renewed interest in. But listen, we've always played as just an alternative to college football on New Year's Day. I don't see this as a turn back at all, especially since we have a Canadian partner. I really don't think outside of that rivalry that we're going to see any downturn in ratings. I don't see that.
Pretty happy to obviously be able to offer this to more fans. I know there was a huge demand for it at Fenway last time, and some probably weren't able to go just because there weren't as many tickets.
Yeah. We're talking 68,000 tickets here, so I think we'll be able to meet demand, hopefully.
You mentioned the window. Do you know how long you, at this point, or is it too early to know how long you might have the rink available?
I don't. My understanding is, the league obviously wants to get in there, and they want to get it just perfect. And in some cases, that may take a week, to make longer. I can't remember what Fenway was, but it was quite a setup. Considering that they don't want to damage the field, I don't know exactly how long the prep's going to take. You know, when we were at Fenway, we had a winter. We don't have that here.
Good.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the subject that we last talked to you about, which was your hockey team.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've kind of, the team
Yeah.
has righted the ship?
I feel, what are we, 6-1-3 in our last 10? So certainly trending better. We still have the odd game where I seem to be a bit uninspired, and I suppose you're going to have that in an 82-game schedule. But having said that, all the stuff that we've done and all the better play has gotten us to 8th place. So do I feel better about it because we're in the playoffs? Yes. Do I wish we were in a better position than we are? Absolutely. Again, I'll repeat, for this team to be even close to missing the playoffs isn't something that we can be happy about. And I would hope that this solid play continues for the next 10, the next 20, the rest of the season, frankly. So we're at where we're at. We dug ourselves a hole. We're starting to get ourselves out of it. But until we do nice and have a nice playoff run, I think the jury's going to have to be out on this group.
Did you feel like your comments had any kind of a motivating effect in some way? There was a turnaround right around the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll say those are factors I can't really measure other than say, we did well afterwards. But there's probably a lot of other factors that went into the solid play besides anything I had to offer.
Thanks, Charlie.
Okay.
Thank you, John.